Keir Starmer called out Kemi Badenoch for her latest ridiculous stance. This was the normal statement of COP29 and the G20. It's the usual routine. The Prime Minister runs through the same announcements made at the recent summits, while MPs pretend to care. Then the opposition leader asks carefully crafted questions, trying to come across as statesmanlike. It's normally just a boring exchange. But nobody actually told Kemi Badenoch. The Tory leader isn't one for pleasantries. It's not that she just finds them pointless. I think she actually finds them as a weakness. I think she feels that even offering mild support to the Prime Minister would probably make her head explode. It would expose a vulnerability that she's determined to hide. So, true to form, Kemi Badenoch drove straight into attack mode. COP29, total waste of time, gathering in virtual signal elites. Stop pretending and start burning. Drill, drill, drill. For Badenoch, climate science isn't a matter of policy, it's just another culture war. And Starmer does well to embarrass her, showing her that she's not really a statesman, and she clearly doesn't know what she should be supporting and what she should be opposing.
At the G20, the Prime Minister was not able to achieve his goal of leaders doubling down on Ukraine's support. As Chancellor Scholz said, it is too little when the G20 cannot find the words to make it clear Russia is responsible for the war. The Prime Minister's meeting with the Chinese President has also attracted much interest. A day after his meeting with President Xi, in which the Prime Minister said he wanted a respectful relationship where both countries avoid surprises, 45 pro-democracy campaigners were imprisoned in Hong Kong. I was disappointed not to hear the Prime Minister condemn that time. Will he do so now unequivocally? And can he confirm that he explicitly called for the repeal of the national security law and for an end to Jimmy Lai's politically motivated trial when he met with President Xi? And can the Prime Minister point to any tangible benefits for UK interests from this meeting? Moving on to COP. COP has not yet concluded, so we do not know what the final impact on the UK will be. But we do know the Prime Minister's rush to a further cut in our emissions is yet another example of politicians putting short-term publicity above long-term planning. When will he publish the plans to achieve this new target? Mr. Speaker, where this government does the right thing, we will back it. Yet where it puts politics before people and press releases before practicality, we will hold them to account. It is time for politicians to tell the truth, and it is time the Prime Minister provided some substance to back this costly rhetoric. Given how badly things are going at home, I'm sure it was a lot easier being in Baku and at the G20. But while he was in Rio de Janeiro, hard-working farmers were protesting outside Downing Street gates at his cruel family farms tax. His government has stoked inflation. The budget has caused employers to warn of job losses, price hikes and shop closures due to Labour's jobs tax. He needs to show what he is doing abroad is in the interest of this country and making lives better. That is why I welcome his continuation of FTA negotiations with India. However, outside the work that we started, at the moment, the Prime Minister's foreign policy is a pick and mix of empty platitudes, unilateral commitments that he could have announced at home, and dangerous precedents. Rushing to give away the Chagos Islands and paying for the privilege, an ill-judged suspension of export licenses to Israel, damaging our defence and security industry, and failing to set out a roadmap for spending 2.5% of GDP on defence in a world that is becoming yet more dangerous. Mr. Speaker, I hope the Prime Minister is up to the very real and serious challenges posed to our security and prosperity. He has many questions to answer this morning, and I look forward to hearing his response.
In relation to the G20 words, it was clear about the Charter, but my position, I think, on doubling down was absolutely clear in everything I said on the record at G20 and everything I've said and done in the last few weeks. Mr. Speaker, in relation to China, I made it very clear in my meeting with the President that where we disagreed, would we be frank and open about that disagreement and raise those issues of concern. On the specific question of the action in Hong Kong, Minister West made a statement condemning this just a few days ago, and I'm very happy to repeat and affirm her position, because of course that is the government's position. And then she will have seen some of the references to the other issues that I raised in my own meeting that are raised consistently with the Chinese by all members of this government, and actually, to be fair, by members of the previous government when they were in office. And I think, again, there's a lot of common ground there. On COP, we used it on pushing forward on the targets. I have to say, it is a shame that what used to be a cross-party issue not so many years ago, I remember COP when it was in Scotland, when COP was in Scotland, there was a real unity across the House about the importance of tackling one of the most central issues of our time. I think the fact that she has now taken the position she has of attacking the very idea of setting targets shows just how far the party opposite has fallen. On an issue like this, I was proud that under some of her predecessors we had that unity. It's a shame it's now been lost because of the position adopted by the opposition. On the question of G20, and she references me being in Rio when the farmers were protesting, G20 is the leading economies of the world getting together to discuss questions of common issues on the economy and on security. If her implication is that the UK should not be there at leader level, that we should join Putin in avoiding that meeting, if that's the position of her party, then she should say so.
In her first interview as leader, she fell at the first hurdle, and it hasn't got any better. So check out the videos on screen now to see her defending Partygate. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.